Good morning.
Good morning.
What would you like to talk about today?
Let's talk about tools, how we use the Mastering Alchemy tools in our lives. Several people have asked, those who are in classes and those who are not have asked, well, how do you use the tools? So let's start with the grounding cord, very first tool.
Okay. So we can use the tools for lots of different things. One for your own body and one for other things. So I'll talk about the body piece. Does that work?
That works for me.
Okay, so the thing about grounding is all about electricity. And you are an electrical being. And quite often with circumstances, environment, things like you get charged, emotionally charged, and or you wind up having an anxiety or a stressfulness or I'm just charged. So using the grounding cord for the body, so the grounding cord is always there, but most of the time people don't pay any attention to it in life, and so you consequently have a grounding cord, but it isn't particularly paid attention to. So that grounding cord runs from the first chakra straight down into the center of the earth. And really all you have to do is kind of get quiet, pay attention to yourself, be in present time, and then give the command to the grounding cord to activate. It's really that simple. So I'll use that grounding cord in a quiet moment. I'll pay attention to it to take the charge off or the nervousness off. That electrical component runs in the nervous system. And so that's the primary thing that I'll do for the body, but it's a matter of just getting quiet, settling down, being in present time. The other part of it, the grounding cord, is just a piece of a unit. So when you're on your side of the rose, you're in present time, you're in the center of your head, you're running energy in the channels of the body, all those things. The grounding is what stabilizes the experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the grounding cord within using it for the body, if someone has a pain in their body, their knee is twitching or their stomach isn't feeling right or something like that, you can take that grounding cord and attach it to the place and draw it down into the earth and start releasing that charged energy from that body part.
So it's just kind of create another sense of grounding and ground it from that point of, so it's not necessarily taking the grounding cord off the first chakra, it's just creating another line and grounding it. And so, yeah, it's really simple. It's just simply a concept, an awareness, a body part, if you would, that you pay attention to. And you don't have to pay attention to it all the time, but if you know it's there and you begin to say, I'm a little off balance, take a breath, ground yourself.
Or even when you're about to walk into an event or a situation, even you might not even be nervous if you're walking into a party. Just before you go into the door, just check in with it.
Yeah, and that's kind of really part of that whole process of stopping, pausing, setting your energy, which has more to it. What do I want to accomplish? How do I want to enjoy myself? What's the words I'm sitting in? But really the key to the whole structuring is the grounding.
Well, and you've always said that you can't really isolate the tools. They work as a unit.
Right.
And so the grounding cord, all the tools work best if you're in the center of your head, which we can talk about another time. The grounding cord works in conjunction with the rose, which we've already talked about, I think. How I use the grounding cord is body things, but also for external things. So, for instance, if the printer isn't working, or the car is having a hard time starting, or there's some machine that isn't working right, I'll just put a little grounding cord on it, drop it down into the earth, and clean it out, and it inevitably begins again. Another place where I use the grounding cord is when there's a barking dog in the neighborhood.
Good.
And I just imagine a little grounding cord coming off its little butt and going down into the earth, and it may take a little bit, but it stops barking.
Yeah, yeah. These things work. They, you know.
Another. This is in Spirit Matters book, where this was a long time ago. This happened where I was flying somewhere, I think, to teach a class with you. And I got to the airport check-in, and the woman behind the monitor said, "Oh, there's no more seats left on this flight." And I couldn't quite believe it, so I said, "Wait, tell me that again. What did you just say?" And as she's repeating it, I'm putting a grounding cord on her monitor.
I remember that, yeah.
And she says, "Oh," mid-sentence, "Oh, wait, a seat just opened up."
Yeah, I remember that.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So it's about stabilizing. It's about simply creating a calmer environment without a lot of that electrical, emotional type of charging going on.
Yeah.
Grounding cord's a big deal. Works extremely well in these times that we're starting to step into. There's a lot of new electrical currents, new ideologies, new concepts, new means of doing differently what had been done before in terms of, so if you notice the changes in the world, you know, the political changes, the geopolitical changes, all of the things that are off balancing, grounding is a huge piece of creating stability.
A lot of noise, more and more noise and drama. And if we're not grounded, we get blown from place to place.
Yeah, and you just get knocked off balance.
Yeah.
You lose your center, in a manner of speaking. That stability becomes lost. So something to pay attention to, very useful awareness to have. It's part of the body. It's something that allows you to begin to perceive your world comfortably in ways where you have not maybe perceived it comfortably before because of the noise.
One more thing. Someone in a free webinar asked, well, how can I teach these tools to my kids? And the grounding cord is the most fun, easiest way to teach to your kids, because you make it fun. You say, here's a monkey tail. Put on your monkey tail and tell me, how does it feel? Or create a lightsaber and have that lightsaber go from your butt into the earth. How does that make your body feel?
Or a big root. Pretend you're a tree. And the thing about that is they don't argue with you unless they're 14 years old or something. But
Start young.
Start young. But they don't argue with you because it's a concept they already know. It's part of their body. So if you make it a tail, as you put your tail into the earth today, how's the earth doing today? Feel it with your tail. Simple, silly, works really well.
And the kids don't resist it. They think it's a game.
They think it's a game. And these games, we can talk a little bit more about that. These games, playing with your rose, playing with, on your side of the rose, with kids, these new kids, they begin to have a sense of themselves that causes them not to search for themselves. They're not figuring out who I am. They become stable in who they am, and they argue less and less. That 2-year-old identity issue simply is not as fierce in many cases because the kid already has a sense of themselves.
Yeah.
So grounding, very big piece of it. We can talk about others
Yeah.
in another session.
Good.
So
Let's go have breakfast.
that's a good idea. Okay.